3-1. Fly ball deep. Left center. Canario back. And he's there approaching the notch. And that is 6 shutout innings for the incredible Paul Skenes, who leaves in a standing ovation.
From MLB.com, this is the Morning Lineup Podcast. I'm your host, Will Leach. Today's Friday, September 5th, and I'm here to tell you everything you need to know about baseball, and to do it in under 10 minutes. I know you weren't watching football last night, so I won't even bother to bring it up. I'm not even sure what they do in that sport. Is that the one they play on ice? You know, with like the brooms?
Holderman's 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the ball game and the series. The Dodgers swept in Pittsburgh for the first time since August 2015, and they are swept for the 5th time in the last 17 series.
So, we're all excited about the Dodgers-Padres fight in the NL West, right? Two geographic rivals, teams who are building quite a postseason history with each other, with the Padres particularly eager to end the Dodgers' run of 11 of the last 12 division titles. Well, that was the plan for September anyway, but something weird started happening. They both keep getting smoked by last-place teams. The Padres just finished getting swept by the Orioles on Wednesday night. They've actually lost every series since they won that 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers a couple of weeks ago. And on Thursday, the Dodgers returned the favor. After dropping the first 2 games of their series in Pittsburgh, the Dodgers had the misfortune of facing Paul Skenes in the finale on Thursday. Skenes did what you always assume he's going to do. He shut the opponents out. Skenes threw 6 scoreless innings, striking out 8 and giving up just 2 hits, getting his season ERA back under 2 in the process as the Pirates beat the Dodgers 5-3. For some reason, the Dodgers simply cannot beat bad teams right now. Since August 1st, the Dodgers are 11-4 against teams with a .500 record or better, but against teams under .500, they're 4-12. What the heck, guys?
I want to say it's uncharacteristic, but I think we've done that a lot as far as losing to teams that, don't have winning records. I don't have a reason for it. Outside of the fact that, teams are going to bring their best against us, but that's teams with, above 500 records too. Tonight in a vacuum, you're facing one of the best pitchers. But yeah, it doesn't change the fact that other teams, we just haven't found ways to beat those guys with losing records. I don't have an answer.
And there's even worse news for both teams coming this weekend. They both play last place teams. The Dodgers travel to Baltimore and the Padres head to Colorado. Each of these NL West teams need to figure out a way to bring back the 27 Yankees so they can finally win again.
Drilled deep to right field. There it goes! See ya! A long home run for Grisham. His 30th of the year. It's a 3-run shot, and the Yankees lead 8-3.
The Yankees are, as usual, stacked with home run hitters, including 4 dudes and Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Paul Goldschmidt, and Cody Bellinger, who won MVP awards in part because of all the homers they hit. But it turns out their second best home run hitter this year, behind Judge of course, has been a guy who before this year was known entirely for winning 2 Gold Gloves and who had only 1 above average offensive season his entire 7-year career. Well, it's now fair to say he's got 2. I'm talking about Trent Grisham, of course, who's been a godsend for the Yankees in 2025, continuing his fantastic season by hitting his 30th homer to break open a tight game in the Yankees' 8-4 win over the Astros. Securing a series victory against a team the Yankees have plenty of postseason history with and may be gearing up to have some more. Grisham's 3-run blast in the 8th came after a half inning, in which the Yankees bullpen did something they've had a whole bunch of trouble doing for the past month. They kept the lead. With runners on first and second in the bottom of the 7th, facing Jose Altuve and clinging to a 1-run lead, the Yanks' Fernando Cruz came in and did this.
And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on the splitter. A pumped-up Fernando Cruz gets the big strikeout of Jose Altuve.
Wow, look how excited the Yankees are when they hold on to a lead. Way to go, Fernando. You, unlike everybody else in the Yanks bullpen lately, will feel no Yankees fan wrath. The Astros' lead over the Mariners fell to 3.5 games with a loss, but so you know, Yordan Alvarez had 4 more hits on Thursday. He's now batting .500, 14 for 28 since returning from the injured list. The Yankees climbed within 3 games of the Blue Jays with the win. just in time to play 3 games against the Blue Jays. How convenient. After the break, Freddie Peralta is but one man. He cannot carry the world on his shoulders, or really any other body part for that matter. Earlier this week, Freddie Peralta, who was traded to the Brewers from the Mariners for let's remember some guy's all-timer Adam Lind 10 years ago this coming December, won the National League Pitcher of the Month award for August, and for good reason. He gave up just 1 run in 5 starts, ending the month with a 0.32 ERA and, particularly impressive, a 24-inning scoreless streak, the longest for the Brewers since the great Teddy Higuera, or Teddy Higgs, as, well, probably somebody called him. He had 32 scoreless innings back in 1987. If Peralta was going to keep his streak going Thursday afternoon, he'd have to do it against those formidable Phillies, what with their Kyle Schwarber and their Bryce Harper and all their other scary monsters. Well, the good news is, Peralta's streak is still alive. He threw 5 scoreless innings against the Phils, raising the streak to 29 innings, striking out 8 and giving up just 2 hits. Unfortunately, it took him 92 pitches to do it, which leads us to the bad news. The Brewers lost 2-0, thanks to Trey Turner's RBI single in the 7th, off a reliever obviously, and an insurance Bryson Scott double in the 9th. Peralta was matched, even exceeded, by the Phillies' Ranger Suarez, who threw 6 scoreless innings, dropping his ERA to 2.89. His scoreless streak is now 10 innings, by the way, which is not 29 innings, but it's still pretty good, and he is the one who gets to say he won. The Phillies are now 6 games up on the Mets. The Brewers' lead over the Cubs dropped to 5.5. And, hey, you know, maybe these guys all get to see each other again come October. It is time for the whip around.
Hit high in the air, deep to left field. Ward's to the track. He's at the fence. It's gone. A go-ahead Bobby Blast. The Royals take a 4-3 lead in the 8th.
The Royals had been struggling at the worst possible time, losing 7 of 11 and 3 in a row, right when they should be trying to make a run at the Mariners in the Wildcard race. And when they fell behind 3-0 in the first inning against the Angels on Thursday, it sure looked like the wheels were still coming off. Well, the Royals came back thanks to homers from Adam Frazier and Vinny Pasquantino, and then in the 8th inning they got a tie-breaking homer from their star Bobby Witt Jr. as the Royals beat the Angels 4-3. They are now only 2 games behind the idle M's. Also, 2 games behind those M's, the Rays, who continue to stack up wins like newspapers on the front door of an elderly couple on vacation. Ryan Pepio, Brian Baker, Garrett Clevenger, and Edwin Uceta held the Guardians to just 1 hit over the first 8 innings before Pete Fairbanks gave up 2 homers in the 9th, doing a whole narrative thing I'd put together for you, as the Rays beat the Guardians 4-2. With the idle Rangers remaining a game and a half back, the AL wildcard race, it's getting mighty interesting. In the final game of the evening, one that started 90 minutes late because of a rain delay, which was fine, it was totally fine. The White Sox did something they have not done since May 2021. They swept a 4-game series. Teal went 3 for 5 with a homer and 4 RBIs as the White Sox beat the Twins 11-8. Oh, and remember Billy Hamilton, really fast guy, made his debut way back in 2013? Well, he's back. The Cubs just signed him to a minor league deal. Hamilton hasn't been in the majors since he played 3 games with the White Sox back in 2023. He's been swiping bags in the Mexican League for the last couple of years since then. Welcome back, Billy. You know, you were once teammates with Bronson Arroyo. Huh. Hey, remember back in late June when the Blue Jays went into that 4-game series in Toronto against the Yankees 3 games back, and then the Jays went out and did sweep that series, and now they've been in first place ever since? That was wild! Well, those 2 teams, the ones who are still battling it out in the AL East, are playing in the Bronx this weekend, and it's actually for the final time all season. The Yankees come into the series 3 games behind the Jays, which means they're going to make a real run at them. This might be their last chance to take a big chunk out of that lead. That's all for today's Morning Lineup Podcast. Thank you for listening. Please be sure to give us a rating and review and tell everyone you know about this podcast. Matt Monaghan will be with you on Monday. I will return to you next Friday, but know that this sweet parting need not be drowned in sorrow. Rest assured, our ships shall pass in the night once again. Next Friday, actually.